Get ready. When Disney announced in July 2017 that Ellen's Energy Adventure in the Universe of Energy would close within a month to be replaced by a Guardians of the Galaxy themed attraction, many Walt Disney World fans were grumbling at the prospect of losing another classic attraction in Epcot, a park that has been ravaged with attraction closures throughout its 40-year lifespan. Moreover, the replacement of an original ride concept with one based on intellectual property, or IP, caused further disappointment. This continued a trend of original attractions being replaced with IP, following the Living Seas Pavilion being rethemed to the Seas with Nemo and Friends in 2007, El Rio del Tiempo in the Mexican Pavilion being rethemed to Gran Fiesta Tour starring the Three Caballeros in the same year, Maelstrom in the Norwegian Pavilion being replaced by Frozen Ever After in 2016, and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure being added to the France Pavilion in 2021. But we be of the opinion that progress is generally a net positive, and with Ellen's Energy Adventure getting on in age, it wasn't the worst thing to be replaced. A young Ellen DeGeneres and Bill Nye the Science Guy were starting to expose how old this attraction really was, and with technical problems of the moving theatre ride design, a complete overhaul of ride and theme was ultimately inevitable. Though Disney acquired Marvel in 2009, Walt Disney World has the unique problem of not being allowed to use certain Marvel characters in the resort due to a contract Marvel signed with Universal Orlando Resort in the 1990s. Marvel Superhero Island features the likes of Spider-Man, The Incredible Hulk, Captain America, Thor, and many more, and thus they can't be used in Disney's Florida resort. This is why you will see Avengers Campus in Disneyland Resort in California, Disneyland Paris, and in Hong Kong Disneyland soon too, but it won't come to Florida. So Disney were quite limited in how they could use Marvel IP, but luckily for them, Guardians of the Galaxy is not bound by this contract. With the two Guardians of the Galaxy films grossing over $1.6 billion between them globally, it made for the perfect base for Disney's next big project. And with Epcot not having a roller coaster or any big thrill attractions aside from Test Track, a Guardians of the Galaxy themed coaster in Epcot ticked a lot of boxes for Disney for a number of different reasons. But what makes Cosmic Rewind so good? Let's break it down piece by piece. Before we jump in, here's just a quick reminder to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you enjoy our content. Get ready. The story. As we've discussed in so many previous episodes in this What Makes This Ride So Good series, story is so often key to what constitutes a good ride. And Disney are the flag bearers in creating stories that throw guests right into the middle of the action and allow them to get lost in their favourite worlds. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind does an excellent job of involving the rider in the story in a number of different ways. You're not asked to suspend your disbelief and just accept that you're in their world now, nor are you experiencing Guardians of the Galaxy through a screen. You become an active agent in the story and experience. You're an Epcot guest who is taken on a journey with the Guardians, and there are many reminders along the way that you're still a theme park visitor. This is very on brand for Guardians of the Galaxy, filled with meta inside jokes related to both Walt Disney World and pop culture in general. You, an Epcot guest, have entered the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion, where you will be given a demonstration of how a cosmic generator works in order to create jump points that allow cosmic travel. In order to be given this demonstration, we must be teleported to a Nova ship above Earth. When the cosmic generator is stolen by Essen, a celestial attempting to wipe out Earth, the Guardians come up with a plan to try get us back to Epcot safely, but first we need to help them get the cosmic generator back to restore Earth after Essen sends it through a jump point to the dawn of time. This is all teed up perfectly throughout the queue and then paid off on ride, and features plenty of interactions and jokes from the Guardians along the way. With such a rich and layered storyline, the actual ride itself almost becomes secondary to this whole adventure that we're experiencing. The queue. Like all good rides, our experience doesn't begin when we board a vehicle. It begins as soon as we can see the entrance to the attraction. The first thing we see is a Star Blaster ship outside the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion, Epcot's newest pavilion and very first off-world pavilion. Again, the ride isn't just shoehorned into Epcot for no reason, it fits within the context of the park, but instead of exploring the seas or watching food being grown, we're seeing a showcase of a different civilization. This is provided by Nova Corps as a cultural exchange program, similar to how many of the countries around World Showcase operate. The queue is cleverly broken up into various sections and pre-shows to break up the waiting process, and it really does make the queue a key part of the Cosmic Rewind experience. We're not just in a queue for a ride, we're visiting a pavilion, and our first stop is the Galaxarium. Here we hear a voice talking about Terra, Xandarian's word for Earth, and its wonders, such as why Terrans like to eat turkey leg. This is the first of many reminders that we're in Epcot still. The voice goes on to talk about the Big Bang, foreshadowing what's to come later in our experience. We then make our way into a gallery showcasing Xandar's cities and culture. Here we see planned model cities of the Nova Empire, and we hear about how they bear similarities to Walt Disney's original Epcot plan. For those who don't know, Epcot was originally going to be a planned city where people could really live, but that's a story for another day. Towards the end of this gallery section, we see Gamora and Peter Quill being interviewed. Here, Peter Quill declares that it was his idea to put the Wonders of Xandar exhibition in Epcot. Peter Quill's backstory is that he was born in 1980 and was abducted from Earth in 1988 at 8 years old. So all of his Earth and pop culture references are from 1988 at the latest. He speaks of how he went to Epcot as a kid and loved it, and now that he's back, he can't wait to visit Horizons, which closed in 1999, see the Universe of Energy, which Cosmic Rewind has of course replaced, and hear Veggie Veggie Fruit Fruit in Kitchen Cabaret, which could last be seen in Epcot in 1994. This again reminds us of where we are, while cleverly slotting in Cosmic Rewind as an attraction into the timeline and zeitgeist of Epcot. We're then told by Nova Prime Irani Real that the final part of our tour of the exhibition will feature us Terrans being transported up to a Nova ship to see how the Cosmic Generator can create jump points to allow for faster space travel. She once again mentions the Big Bang being the point where our worlds began. Epcot fanatics will be aware that Ellen's Energy Adventure also featured the Big Bang during the ride, so this is a subtle nod to its predecessor and once again foreshadowing what's to come. We're then shepherded into the teleportation room, where we will now be brought up above Earth into a Nova ship. This is a small room with a teleportation device above us. With some loud noises and flashing lights, the room goes dark for a couple of moments, and suddenly we find ourselves standing on a huge ship with Centurion Tal Malik telling us that we made it onto the Nova ship. We catch a glimpse of Earth out the window and also the Cosmic Generator on board. Quickly we see the power go out, the ship goes dark and the Cosmic Generator is gone. Nova Prime calls for the Guardians, who promptly appear on screen. Out the window where we can see Earth, Esson appears with the Cosmic Generator. He creates a jump point back to the dawn of time, sending Earth and himself through it. At this point, Epcot and Walt Disney World are gone, and we're stuck on a Nova ship in space. The Guardians want us to follow Esson through the jump point to keep track of him, but the power is out so we can't move. Rocket comes up with a plan to get us to the evacuation shuttles on board our ship in order to follow him through the jump point. Tal Malik says the odds of this working are impossible. We're then guided out of the room towards the evacuation shuttles. This portion of the queue is much more tense, with dramatic music and red lights flashing as we make our way through the ship. It's a stark contrast to the blue hues and inspiring music of the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion. We're now no longer visitors to a pavilion in Epcot, but accomplices to the Guardians on a mission to save Earth. Anticipation builds as we make our way towards the evacuation chambers to board our shuttles. The ride. Upon boarding, we see a panel ahead where Rocket reiterates that this plan is never going to work, highlighting the danger that lies ahead for us. Gamora reassures us by saying they'll be right behind us. We then leave the ship and enter space, where we head straight through a jump point. We immediately see Esson holding the Cosmic Generator with Earth behind him. Our vehicle moves in a way that's facing him the whole time. More on that later. The Quinjet appears and knocks the Cosmic Generator out of his hand, causing, you guessed it, the Big Bang. This sends us into a backwards launch as one of 6 songs from the 80s begins to play. This is again Peter Quill's 80s references coming into play. Following the launch, we spin around and find ourselves flying through space. Again, our vehicle rotates in a way to be facing the action at all times, using innovative technology to make sure we don't miss any of the action between the Quinjet and Esson. Disney often employs a tactic called the cocktail party effect, where many things are happening at once, so we can only pick up on some of it on one ride through. Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion are prime examples of this. But such an effect wouldn't work on a fast-paced roller coaster. Rotating vehicles allow for a very focused story to unfold while on the ride. We fly uncontrollably through space as we catch glimpses of Esson and the Quinjet before flying through 2 more jump points. The Guardians recover the cosmic generator and contain Esson, but not for long. They then lead us back to Earth, where we take a quick detour around the moon, briefly orbit the Earth, and then land in a tunnel on our home planet back at Epcot at the Wonders of Xandar Pavilion. The Guardians thank us via hologram for being heroes as we disembark our evacuation shuttles and return to being theme park guests. Final thoughts. Disney has consistently delivered world-class attractions for decades now, so we had no reason to doubt that this would be a good ride. But for us, it goes above and beyond that. You can almost see where Disney Imagineers had a choice to make, and they made the right choice again and again. They didn't have to blend the Epcot Pavilion concept into the theme of the ride, but they did it anyway. They didn't have to reference old defunct Epcot attractions and Walt's original Epcot concept. But they put these in as little Easter eggs for Walt Disney World fans, and they pay off in a big way. While we know not everyone will agree, it feels like this ride is the right step in the evolution of Epcot, and we'd like to see this ride technology used again for future developments. The queue is one of the most detailed and elaborate of any attraction queue in the world, and it feels less like we're waiting to go on a ride and more like we're visiting another Epcot pavilion. We haven't waited for a long time to go on a 4-minute ride, we've had a comprehensive experience from the moment we entered the building. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind combines innovative ride technology, a compelling story, and the justification for why the ride belongs in Epcot to make a unique and world-class attraction. And all of these elements make it a good ride. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some other episodes in this series. Avatar Flight of Passage and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will be on screen now. What are your thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. And now you're ready.